In the world you will have trouble. So what else is new? All right. Yeah, Jesus was on target there. Let's just talk briefly today about Memorial Day. It's an important day. It's an important day. We remember those brave men and women who have given their lives so that we might maintain our freedoms. All right, let me tell you a little thing I just read, I think yesterday or the day before, because we have really 3 days in which we remember or celebrate the people in the military in our country. There's Armed Forces Day. Do we know when that is? Parish fact checker, I don't even know when Armed Forces Day is, so you're going to have to look up Armed Forces Day, okay? No, that's Veterans Day. Veterans Day. So anyway, there's Armed Forces Day, there's Veterans Day, and today is Memorial Day. Okay, so we have Armed Forces Day, and they said that's for those people who are in uniform. Okay, that's for all those people serving presently in the military. And then there is another day called Veterans Day, and that's for all those vets who served in uniform but took the uniform off. Okay, the veterans. We have a Veterans Day, that's November the 11th, and today is Memorial Day for all those who gave their lives for this country, and they said these are the ones who never took the uniform off. Isn't that good, huh? It's a good way to remember it. And you know, I hear people these days, I began to talk about this a little bit yesterday, but I had so many issues on my mind. You know, I have issues. And you know, I got a lot of stuff on my mind. And we're talking about people saying, Happy Memorial Day. They kind of lost the meaning of this. I mean, if you're somebody who, you know, lost a loved one because of a war, World War II, some of you, I don't even think anybody here serving World War II anymore? No. We lost Skip. He was our last one here that served in World War II. Then there was Korea. Some might remember that. And then, of course, there was Vietnam. We have a couple of Vietnam guys here. Terry was here. Who else was Vietnam? Anybody else Vietnam? You were Vietnam. Vietnam. Okay, Vietnam. Then, of course, we have, you know, the war in Iraq, you know, Desert Storm, and then Afghanistan, and you know, we even have troops being sent back now to Somalia and Ethiopia. So you know, war is it's a horrible thing. It's just like a horrible thing. And I had a funeral on Saturday, and it was really an appropriate time to have a funeral for this man. He was 98 years old. 98. Pretty good, huh? And he served in World War II and in Korea. About that. And he was a Marine, and he achieved the rank of captain. His name was John Morgan. And there was very little really about his life. You know, when somebody dies, we like to have something that tells us about what they did in life. There was very little. The only thing the family really put down was, you know, he was proud to serve his country. He was a Marine, served in 2 wars, became a captain, and there was only one thing they said he ever talked about. And he certainly must have had a lot to talk about, but only one thing he ever talked about. They said he was a very humble man. He was with his men on the Marshall Islands. And you know where the Marshall Islands are? Who knows where they are? And we're in the Pacific. Where? In the Pacific. It's a big ocean. Where is it? In the middle. You can't go wrong there. Parish fact checker with the Marshall Islands. North of New Guinea, wherever that is. All right. Anyway, he said that one night some young man crawled into their tent. And of course, you know, could be certainly probably, you know, somebody that was the enemy. You don't know what the kid was going to do in the tent. Was he just there to steal? Was he just there to, shoot somebody? They didn't know. And they grabbed him, and they were ready to shoot him. And they said to the captain, "What should we do with him?" And he said, "Let him go." Wow. Wow. He told that story over and over and over again. He had mercy. He spared this young man's life. And sometimes people say, the Americans did this, the Americans did that, and blah, 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 blah. No, the Americans did good wherever they went. They did good. They brought people food. They brought people freedom. They served over there in Afghanistan and Iraq, and they were abused. They were abused. And our country told them to stand down. Stand down. That meant they couldn't do anything. And I had young guys coming to me from Afghanistan, coming to me from Iraq. And they would tell me what happened, that they saw their buddies get blown up, dead. Some of them lost limbs and eyes. And they were told, stand down. And they could see the Taliban giving them the finger and laughing at them. Yeah. And they had post-traumatic stress. We used to call that shell shock, the older generation, post-traumatic stress. That young boy, his parents sent him to me. This kid was losing it. I had to make sure he went to in San Antonio, the big military mental hospital in San Antonio. He had to go there for a couple of years to get himself straightened out. I had them come back, and they come back home because of what they saw, the post-traumatic stress. They killed themselves. Killed them. I had one young boy in New Jersey, Marine, comes home, served his tour of duty over there in Iraq, Afghanistan, borrows his father's car, goes out to the woods and shot himself in the head. See, this is real stuff. This is real stuff. See, this war stuff it's bad. It's bad. And that's why you have all of these people who were killed and maimed in war, physically and mentally. And they don't get over it. They still have nightmares. They still have nightmares about what happened. So people say, Happy Memorial Day. It's not about the hot dogs and the hamburgers. It's not. That's silly. No, it's about remembering what these people have done for us. What these people have done for us. That's why we are here. And a lot of people, they want to, take away the freedoms that we have. No. We fought as a nation very, very hard from the time of the revolution until now to maintain the freedoms. And you can't let any government say, we're going to take a little bit of this away, a little bit of that away. It'll make it safer for you. It's better for the whole world. No. What's better for the whole world is what? A strong America. That's what's better for the whole world. So today, we pray for those who've given their lives for us to be here today. I'll tell you this Vietnam, one last story, because this gets me agitated. A lot of things agitate me, I remember Vietnam. I was too young to go, but old enough to remember, I'm not as old as George and Terry. Terry was there, all right? I remember, I lived in a place called Brooklyn. You heard about Brooklyn? A tree grows there, right? All right. Yeah. No, George said it's next to, where is it, George? Next to the New Guinea. All right? Be careful with that Guinea stuff, George. Yeah, we lived in a place near Floyd Bennett Field in Brooklyn. Anybody ever hear of Floyd Bennett Field? They used to bring the coffins back. They brought the coffins back from Floyd Bennett Field. And we lived on the big main avenue called Flatbush Avenue. It goes the length of Brooklyn. And I can remember the hearses. Boom, boom. One after the other. One after the other. Kid across the street from me, Charlie Nielsen, never forget it, Marine. See the Marines walking down the block one day. My mother knew what happened. She said she saw two Marines going to see the Nielsen family. He was killed. Bullets to the body in Vietnam. They sent him back. in a coffin that was vacuum packed like a glass. He looked like a doll. Right? I think about that family. The father said to me, I was a young kid myself. He says, I can't handle this. And then he says, the mother says, at least he gave his life for a cause. Yeah, what cause? They didn't win the war. They didn't want to win that war. You see, you can't let these politicians trick you into this stuff. They could have won the war if they wanted to win the war. They didn't. It's the military-industrial complex, people making big money on this stuff, and nobody wants to talk about it. But Father O is not afraid to talk about it. So I will go where others dare not go because I've seen it and I've smelled it. I was with them in the hospitals. Right after Vietnam, they assigned me a couple of years later. I was ordained. My first assignment was a state mental hospital. I told you that. Remember I told you, that's where I went. And I'm saying, why did they send me there? He had all these guys from Vietnam. They were all messed up. They were sitting around these big rooms, these big closed ward rooms, they called them. They were just sitting around staring into outer space. They were so messed up. They were so messed up. So you see, we celebrate today in honor of those who gave their lives for us, number one. Number two, for those whose lives got messed up to save us, and for their families. And to remember, don't let this country ever get involved in wars that are not going to help America, but only get into wars that are going to save America to keep America free. I've said enough. God love you.